Hello, pre-algebra students. Mr. Lawrence here with your flipped lesson. And we're still working with polygons today. Remember, a polygon is a closed two-dimensional figure having three or more sides. It is not what happened when your parrot flies away from home. All right, today we're going to be talking about finding the total degrees in a polygon and the measure of just one angle if the polygon is regular. Now, it's all based on triangles, but some of you may not know um, the degrees in a triangle. Well, let's stop and think about this here. Let's take something you probably do know. Let's take a quadrilateral, specifically a square, and let's see if we can figure out how many total degrees in a square. Well, aren't there 90 degrees at each of the corners? Isn't that one of the characteristics of a square? If there's 90 degrees in each quarter, right, 90 degrees times 4, because there's 4 of them, wouldn't that be 360 degrees? So a square has 360 degrees. Now I ask you, what's a triangle? Well, someone's going to say it's a three-sided polygon, and I agree with you. But isn't a triangle, in its most basic form, really just half a square? I mean, if I cut that square in half, don't I get two triangles? And if the square has 360 degrees, well then wouldn't the triangle have half that? 360 divided by 2, which is 180 degrees. Wouldn't there have to be 180 degrees here and 180 degrees in this half? Oh, by the way, that's true for all triangles, because if I double the triangle, put it together, I can make a quadrilateral. Like, for example, watch this. I'm going to clone this guy, okay, and then I'm going to flip him, and I'll bring him down here. And didn't I just make a quadrilateral? I mean, I'm only counting the outsides. I'll trace that in a highlighter to prove my point to you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And we know from the square that quadrilaterals have 360 degrees. So therefore this triangle must have 180 degrees. Okay, so let me erase that. And everything is going to be based off of a triangle. Let me get rid of this guy. He's in my way. So I know that in this triangle here, there's 180 degrees. And in here we have 360 degrees in the square or quadrilateral. But what about a pentagon? How many degrees would be in a pentagon? Remember I said to base everything off a triangle. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to circle one of the vertices of the pentagon. And then I'm going to see how many triangles I can make out of the pentagon. Well, there's one triangle. And there's another. Looks like a pentagon has 3 triangles. Do you notice that when I drew my segments, I drew them all from that corner or vertex that I circled? So there's 180 degrees here, 180 degrees here, and 180 degrees here. So for the pentagon, the total number of degrees is 180 times 3, which would be 540 total degrees. Okay, by the way, these are all part A's. This is 180 degrees, that's part A. And for this one, we've got 360 degrees, and that's part A. Well, look at this shape here. Let's count its sides. Let's see how many sides it has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sides to it. Well, that makes it a 12gon. I like to call it a dodecagon, but you can call it a 12gon. Totally a correct answer. And I'm going to break it up into triangles. First, I need to circle one of the vertices, any one I want, and then I'm going to draw a line segment to every other vertex that doesn't already have it. Like, for example, I wouldn't draw here because that is already drawn. But I will go there. So there's one triangle, two triangles, three triangles, four triangles, five triangles, six triangles, seven triangles, eight triangles, nine, 10 triangles. If you're not sure, count one, two, I'm in segment mode, sorry. Let me recount there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 triangles. So in this 12-gon, there are 10 triangles. Well, 180 degrees times 10 would get me 1,800 total degrees. Now, it doesn't matter what size the 12-gon is. It doesn't matter what size the pentagon is. All pentagons have 540 degrees. That means that this pentagon here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has 540 total degrees in it. Okay, all pentagons have the same number. This one might be trickier to break up into triangles, but it still has 540 degrees. Now, please notice that when I drew my triangles, I did not cross the diagonals. Notice in each case, the diagonals do not cross. Don't cross your diagonals. Did I mention you shouldn't cross your diagonals? Now, we're going to look at one more thing today. We're going to ask ourselves, can we figure out the measure of one angle if the shape is regular? Remember, regular means all the sides and all the angles are the same. So I'm asking you, can you figure out the measure of this angle here? Well, this is really simple. This is part B. I'm going to take the total degrees, 180, and since there's 1, 2, 3 angles, I'm going to divide it by 3, and I'm going to get 60 degrees. This is a 60-degree angle. Over here on B, same thing. I know you know the answer already, but I'll take the total degrees. I'll divide by how many there are. Looks like there's 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to divide by 4, and I'm going to get 90 degrees. Well, can I find the measure of, say, this angle right here? I sure can. Since the shape is regular, I can take 540 degrees divided by how many angles there are, which would be 5. When I do that, I'm going to get 108 degrees. I can do it on a 12-gon. I can figure out the measure of this angle right here. Okay, I'm going to take the total number of degrees, and I'm going to divide by the total number of angles. And I'll show my work on this one. 1800 divide by 12. It's going to go in there once, 12. And that's going to be 60. 60, 0, 0. It's going to be 150 degrees. So that's a 150-degree angle. That's a pretty big angle if you think about it. Yeah. All right. Today in class, or tomorrow in class, you're going to get some practice with that kind of stuff. So, we learned how to figure out the total number of degrees by breaking the shape up into triangles and then multiplying the 180 degrees by how many triangles there were. And then to figure out the measure of just one angle, we would take the total degrees and divide by the total number of angles. All right, that's your lesson for today. Mr. Lawrence signing off. Good night, everybody.